Bullies often like to deflect their behavior as just joking, which is a form of gaslighting. Commenting on someone's choice of food or how much they've been eating, even in a joking manner, is still body shaming. And it can be painful, especially if you don't know that person's relationship to food. It's never okay, even if it's just a joke.
So Rebecca Brooks has recently come out and said that it is never okay to quote-unquote body shame. And I put this in quotes because body shaming is a made-up term, by this new PC culture that I refuse to play along with, and I will get into why this is. I don't even think she can hold herself up to these standards. I don't think most SJWs can, and even if they seem to be doing so, they are censoring themselves. They are being disingenuous because they aren't saying what they really think or how they really feel. They're just always so worried about offending someone. What she's done here with Tommy Kelly and Dee Dee from You Did It Wrong, in my opinion, it's quite malicious because she's being quite manipulative. She's taking a lot of this video footage and using it out of context, or she's splicing it in a way to make it sound like Dee Dee is saying something differently than she actually did. Okay, so let's take a look at a few examples of this hypocrisy by her own standards and her own definition of this. She's talking about Daphne Reloaded here, calling her Fatney. Talking about how she at least has hair on her head because Daphne recently shaved her head and it's growing out now. Hair is a part of the body as well.
Body shaming is never okay, even if it's just a joke. It's the girl who shovels an entire chicken into her pudgy little pie hole. Body shaming is never okay, even if it's just a joke. Oh my god, this girl is disgusting. Body shaming is never okay, even if it's just a joke. I'd like to say that this video is in no way meant to body shame.
But my PP small. That shit's so small that it broke the law.
You are clearly photoshopping this bullshit. You are not fooling anyone.
This video is in no way meant to body shame.
So as you just saw, she does her fair share of quote-unquote body shaming. Even parts of the body that cannot be controlled. You can't lose weight in your penis. You can't grow out your penis as an adult male. So if anything, wouldn't that be worse than calling someone fat or making fun of them for being bald, right? And so she's done multiple of these videos where she calls out these people and exposes them. And with Skye or Dee Dee, she ends up making the case that she's a narcissist. I don't know how that got tied into it because with the way people explain narcissism nowadays, so you could just randomly pick a trait that someone has, and if it falls in line with being maybe selfish, or it doesn't even have to fall in line with that. Like with Skye, she says narcissists, they always find a group of people to rally behind them, and so they stand up as the good guy. And look, she did a live stream with Tristan and with Tommy, and then that proves it. One example. So yeah, she leads up to this point where she encourages her viewer to file a complaint. I'm pretty sure this is the technical description of doxing.
Doesn't body shame is a disclaimer. So apparently, as long as you say I don't body shame at the beginning, it's fine. You know what? I do it out of context, to be fair, and I have a disclaimer saying that, and I'm always like, check the original videos. I don't think she has disclaimers. She just gets away with it because she's all like, I'm a serious journalist.
So now that clip that you just heard was one that Rebecca put together in her video. And it sort of gives the impression that Skye is saying, oh, as long as I say before the video, before my joke, that I'm not body shaming, that means that I'm not body shaming. But she was actually making fun of Rebecca in that clip.
I'd like to say that this video is in no way meant to body shame. Body shaming is never okay, even if it's just a joke.
So here we come back full circle. The hypocrisy staring us right in the face. How do you keep up with your own standards? And this isn't just for Rebecca. You know, she says, you don't know everyone's relationship to food. No shit. You don't know what may be triggering someone or harmful, quote unquote, to their little ear holes, what may offend them or hurt their feelings. No shit. I mean, does this even have to be said? What are you going to go tiptoeing around because you think you may ruin someone's life? Yeah, don't be an asshole. Everyone knows this already. Don't be an asshole. But humor is not going to die at the hands of the possibility that maybe you might offend someone and ruin their life and they might develop an eating disorder because studies show that 60-something% of women say they were bullied, that had an eating disorder. So what? It's like saying, 60, 80, 90% of drug addicts say that they had an older sibling that they fought with and that picked on them growing up, or that they were bullied in school, or that they had, this certain aspect about their appearance that they didn't like. Yeah, duh. We all have these complications in life. It either makes you stronger or you completely deny them and victimize yourself and decide that everyone else is the problem. Everyone else has to change the way they speak and think and talk. And you see what I'm saying? Emotional growth requires that you be able to evaluate anything that hurts, anything someone says, does, because it will always be about you internally. Whether they say you're fat, they say your hair looks terrible all the time, or they say you're lazy, or no matter what it is, it doesn't just have to be about your body. That's the thing. You could talk about the way someone thinks and it could hurt them tremendously. So you would have to apply this body shaming idea across the board. You would never be able to say anything about anyone in fear that, it may hurt them. So if something does hurt, if someone says something and it hurts, you need to evaluate that. Turn off your phone and think about it instead of responding off the cuff or trying to manipulate versions of reality, trying to find ways to prove this person is a bully, this person is this or that. Regardless, even if those things are true, you still need to evaluate why it hurts. Think about your past. Think about how you felt all the times you were told this about yourself. It's probably because it's mostly true. There's some truth to it. That's usually the sort of issues that hurt the most. And then you have to resolve how you will work that out, how you will come to terms with either accepting this about yourself, if it's something you can never change, or changing it if you're never going to be happy with yourself this way.
And she doesn't body shame is a disclaimer. So apparently, as long as you say I don't body shame at the beginning, it's fine. So let's have another watch. It's only 25 seconds, so we didn't waste that much time.
Also, I think body shaming, this whole thing about we shouldn't body shame, I think that's so stupid. All you fake little sensitive dorks out there trying to control what words people can say, you're the reason the internet sucks now. You're the reason it sucks now. All you are fucking lames.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Like everyone. But I do want to say with the body shaming thing, I think there's a time and place. I think in therapy, one thing you look at is you understand that you can't control the environment, but you can control your own thoughts. So it's not about right or wrong of people body shaming. It's just going to happen anyway. And it's sad. And I do try not to do it, despite what Rebecca wants to pull up. But in a troll satire perspective, I do make jokes. I think it's important that people work on themselves and find out why they're taking it to heart. Like, people have been saying all kinds of stuff about the way I look, and I haven't taken it to heart. And I think I don't expect everyone to be that strong or in that mindset, but I think it's really important to work on yourself and try and figure out what it is that's hitting that nerve, right?
It doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks about you. It's what you actually think up here that's a big problem.
An eating disorder. He lives in Scotland and says, I am an ambassador for the Be Eat and See Me Scotland, which are the eating disorder and mental health charities here in the UK. The main point and issue that I'm emphasizing here is that bullying, even as a quote-unquote joke, can contribute to someone's eating disorder. A study completed by the UK charity Beat, the same one that Tommy Kelly is a part of, found that 600 participants surveyed, 90% of the respondents admitted to being bullied at some point in their lives, with more than 75% of individuals suffering from an eating disorder admitted that bullying was a significant cause of their disorder. As many as 65% of people with eating disorders say bullying contributed to their condition. 47% of girls aged 11 to 21 say that the way they look holds them back.
Were they molested? Were they raped? Were they abused? Were they neglected? Did they get enough love growing up? It is just a lack of confidence. It's a lack of self-worth. A lot of people suffer this. A lot of people do not grow up in stable, loving homes where they get all of the confidence and they grow and flourish and develop the self-esteem that they need as an adult. Did bullying contribute to this in some way? Maybe. Yeah, it's possible. But again, this is life. You are going to have to deal with things in life. Hardships. That's how you grow. That's how you become stronger. You can't police society to conform in the way that will just be your perfect little bubble safe space. It's not realistic. It's not getting to the root of the problem. Everyone knows what it feels like to be bullied. How can you possibly contribute your issues to this? Everyone who has siblings, everyone who went to a public school, everyone who interacted with people at any level knows what it feels. If you had large ears, you were called Dumbo. If you had a big nose, if you had big belly, if you were too skinny. You know, Rebecca talks about how if you don't fit this perfect beach body description of what a woman and a man should look like, you're bullied and you're body shamed. I was called Bobo Trash Can growing up because I was allergic to mosquitoes, and in the summertime I would stay out late and get bites all over me. We called my sister Matchstick because she had like stick legs and super skinny. We called her Serial Killer because she loved cereal. I mean, I could go on, but you get the idea. And then as you grow up into adulthood, you realize some things you can change, some things you can't. And as I said earlier, and I learned this as an adult, I learned how to evaluate my own ego and deal with it, and it really significantly helped my anxiety. Get the book, A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle. I know a lot of people don't like that New Age stuff, but if you're just focusing on the egoic part of this equation, this helps. This helps understanding yourself and being able to evaluate your own self. And when you're offended, when you get hurt by something, being able to sit down and evaluate why that is and try to work through it and grow from it instead of just staying in a standstill. Because as I've shown you with Rebecca and with all of these SJWs, they can't even hold up to their standards that they are giving. And usually these are the ones that are trying to be hurtful, trying to say things that are bitter and just cruel and mean. These are the people that do this because they're angry, they are hurting, and they want to, direct that pain somewhere else. They want to put that suffering elsewhere.
Guess what the first thing they say is, bald man bad, you're bald man bad. It's all body shaming.
Yeah.
And I don't care. You can body shame me as much as you want, you little dorks. You can say whatever you want, body shame me all you want. But quit acting like you're some righteous warriors for the downtrodden and oppressed. You guys hate people. You hate your daddies. You hate God. You hate yourselves. Fuck off.
Body shaming is never okay, even if it's just a joke.
Feels fat. She has a fat girl complex.
So for me personally, there's a very fine line. I'm not going to judge what other people say. I will say I've never seen Skye or Tommy cross that line. So I'll leave you with this. If the victim gets to decide what body shaming even is, what triggers them, that means we can't critique, we can't joke, we can't be descriptive in any way. It will always be coming from a different perspective, which means this whole body shaming definition will be contingent upon the quote-unquote victim's perspective, the triggered person's perspective. You have to get everyone to agree with the person who is triggered. Consistency will fall apart, logic, and you will never be able to even meet your own standards.